All right. Michelle is back for video number 7, and then I'll stop it for today. Uh, Today is Friday, February 20th, 2026. So I can sense already I am going to lay my ass down in a few minutes and take a nap and then get up again and do some things, because I was up pretty early this morning because I was getting impulses and just kind of picking up something going on, and unfortunately we are living in these times where, because of our massive overpopulation, the power of our thoughts, which is energy as well, are interfering with each other. We're like crashing into each other. Imagine atoms crashing into each other. Let's see what our friends say about that. And that's what it is. Oh, you know what? Let me stand by. Well, stand by for a minute while I put that right there. I'll see if I can get another stand at some time. Let me go this route here. So I put out like a series of videos today about sending out an SOS. Some people are sending out help signals. They are swirling around in this criminal. This is a metaphor, by the way, figuratively, metaphorically, parable, idioms. Okay, do not see if you can kind of think this through. Whereas you are, just attempting to expand your thoughts to represent something more than just literal, or something more than what you've already been taught over and over again. Whereas you're spinning. So see if you can figure out what that means to you when I ask you, okay, what does it mean that atoms are crashing into each other? It's just energy. So I've done, including this video, a total of 7. And whereas, as I said, I could, just as people, when something's going on in the world, it affects all of us. And I told you about the butterfly effect, okay? A lot of people see that as a joke. They don't see it as anything that's actual reality, but it is an actual reality. We're energy. So what I'm doing here on the West Coast affects people on the East Coast and North and South and such and so on. So I know a lot of people are deconstructing, which is beautiful. Then they're re-examining their lives. They're attempting to reconstruct their lives, but they know they need to be self-educated more. And they also know that there are consequences, of course. Self-education, will open up so many avenues for you to choose. And I told you back, in several of the videos that I've already done, there are some people who have been swirling in criminal negative energy since birth, possibly because they were either married into it, pedigree, what's the word? Privileged. They were part of this so-called secret society. Usually it has strong religious overtones, as well as religion, politics, military, law enforcement. They all love each other. They're part of that tentacle of criminal negative energy, but religion highlights it all. And that pedigree, that group, that secret society, that the holier than thou, can't do no wrong, self-righteous, they're part of that criminal negative energy. However, there are some within it who are in fear of their life, literally in fear of their life. And they're in fear of their life, but also in fear of the lives of their children and their descendants. Okay? And they're attempting to do something where no one has to know, whereas they can save themselves and more urgently save their children, descendants, and also save the future personality of their ancestry. So, again, those that are in that criminal negative energy are feeling despondent, and some of them may be feeling a sense of unworthiness, whereas, so in other words, just see if you can take yourself out of that rumination, and understand that, we all have our beds we've all made our beds in order to sleep in them. You know what I mean? Think about this. Every day we make our bed to do what? To sleep in it. Only to turn around and make it again in order to sleep in it. So just see if you can bring some metaphors into your life that'll help you snap out of it and have you thinking differently, and therefore you'll be acting differently. I mean, that's all it takes, really, is to change your thought patterns. A lot of people are talking about this, and I'm thankful for that, because we have to discuss these things, But in particular, those of you who are in the criminal negative energy, you've had enough. You know too much. You feel gaslighted. You feel manipulated, deceived. That you have benefited from this. You know that you have harmed thousands, maybe millions of people because of your complacency. And you felt like that. A lot of you felt, and you know that this wasn't the truth, that a lot of people were doing this harm to themselves, that they deserved what was happening to them. You had a lot of, and you probably still do. You had a lot of arrogance and cockiness and just pure delusion, pure hallucination, and you did all of that to justify your prison life. You're living in a prison, in probably elite status, probably on the top of the totem pole, so to speak, the top of that hierarchical structure, where you possibly have servants, you have people preparing your meals, you have people driving you around, and you don't have to lift a finger per se. They're shining your shoes, doing your hair and makeup, and all you do is just show up. They dress you to tell you what to wear. Okay, but you feel like a prison. You feel like you're in prison because, you have to look a certain way when you go out. You have to walk a certain way. You have to pretend. It's superficial. You have to go to these meetings, have these Zoom meetings. Oh, God. Man. Insanity. It's all insanity. And you know this. So, again, you have to take on the consequences. You have to accept your accountability and responsibility and your complacency. You need to be brutally honest with yourself. Even though, you're in this criminal negative energy, you knew that there was an issue. You knew that you could have done something, but you chose not to. And if you say it was out of fear, no, it wasn't out of fear. It was out of cowardice. You're behaving like a coward. And now you want somebody to save you. And keep in mind, those of us who operate in righteousness, we would save you. But we're not delusional and hallucinating either. We are not going to be holding, have our hands out in order to lift you up. No, we'll tell you how to lift yourself up. Is what we'll do instead. We're not going to put ourselves on the line. Are you kidding me? But at the same time, we do have compassion for you, empathy more importantly, and especially because we could not imagine being in your shoes. No way, no how. I know this a couple of the collectively aligned were asking the question, if you had to be reborn. It's just a question. Don't get too worked up about reborn and all that. But if you could just say a biological black woman in your next lifetime, just make that a parable. Don't get mixed up in that, because there's more to that meets the eye. And a lot of them say, I will be a biological black woman anytime, in any place, every time. So get to that point in your life where you can say that. I can guarantee you, and I'm going to say this with as much respect as I can. Transgender community is in a crisis. If they tell you that they are happy with who they are, what they are, why they are, they're lying to you. Okay, they're probably the most miserable people on this planet, but they are great at pretending, great at performing. Okay, transgender communities, anybody operating in religious dogmas, it doesn't matter which, even if they're Buddha, I can guarantee you a lot of those guys that walk all of this way across the country, they hate that they had to do that. But they know that they had to do something. So you have to start somewhere, walk the talk. So they took it literally. And you need to be careful of that literal thinking and see if you can bring a metaphor in it that would have been just as effective. Okay, that's just something to consider. Those are in politics. Oh my God, they're probably the most anal, and even though they fleece in America, they get to fly here, get to fly there, get to live here, get to live there. A lot of them are so, what's the word, on the verge of self-created man-made dementia, because they're not using their brain cells at all. Okay, and that has been that way for decades. Only maybe 5, I don't know, out of this whole, since the 1700s, maybe 5 of them, under 10 more specifically and especially, are using their brain cells. 90% of the rest of them are not. A lot of them went in there with good intentions, and when they pulled back the curtains, pulled back the blinds, and took off the veil, oh boy. So again, your sounds and tones are being heard. But it's just like anything else. We are tired of giving you a lifeline. Okay? A lifeboat, lifeline, a life jacket, whatever. You're going to have to, an alert tone or whatever. We're tired of giving you the rope, to rescue you. Metaphor. And I'm gonna stop this with this. We're not here to give you, like I said, a rope to rescue you, and we're not giving you a rope to harm yourself either. Okay, I made plenty of disclosures on this site. On this page. I talk about adult subjects that anyone who claims to be an adult should be able to handle. But we're so anal about everything. Everything offends somebody. And a lot of people are in that criminal negative energy too. They don't want to be taken out of their comfort zone. But they're so miserable where they are, but they don't want no one to know that. They don't want that secret to be revealed. They are miserable. And if they could take all of themselves out, they would. And there's a possibility they will. I said it. So do the best you can and see how you can, again, reach out to someone who was in that similar position still in, because chances are, when you're in it, you're in it. But there has been some not heroes. Ooh, don't be a hero, but there have been some courageous, brave humans who have taken themselves out of that spin of the criminal negative energy, and they're doing everything in their power to assist humanity. Okay, and if that's your intention, you will resonate towards that. Your sounds and tones will resonate you where you need to be. That's cause and effect. And anybody that's arguing with that, well, you're just wasting your time, actually, because you are arguing against energy, and you won't ever stand a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. This is video 7. I just wanted to go ahead and wrap it up with video 7. Let you know that I do have compassion for you. I really do. I have empathy for you as well. But at the same time, we are all responsible and accountable for our behaviors and actions. So be brave, be courageous, and most importantly, be creative. Talk to you soon.